tired of getting detected in the Cayo Perico finale? Are you tired of randos ruining your Diamond Casino silent and sneaky approach? Tired of flying that damn Titan 250D in the Oscar Guzman Flies Again questline? Are you someone who likes to take it easy, kick back on your couch, and relax while making millions of dollars in passive income? Well, guess what? You're in the perfect place today because the recent Mansions DLC has completely changed how we view passive income in this game. Before the Mansion production speed boost, passive money like the cash flow from your nightclub or bunker was considered a supplementary income source to your more active content like Cayo Perico heists, the Dr. Dre contract, or even something like auto shop contracts. But now, with Mansions, the status quo has been flipped on its head because any passive business of your choosing can be boosted by 3 times with the simple press of a button. Combine this with the techniques I showcased in my recent AFK money making guide, and I think you guys can form a pretty good picture of where I'm going with this train of thought. So in today's video, I'm about to drop the ultimate passive income guide for 2026 that will make you a billionaire before GTA 6 releases without doing a single heist, job, or contact mission. And at the end, I'll show you how you can make over $1 million a day just from the various safes in your businesses, because there's 7 of them in total. Here's our game plan. First, we're gonna grab ourselves a mansion. Any basic mansion will do, and you don't need all the extra stuff like the security upgrade or armory or podium. Nice to have, not necessary. Then you're gonna set the mansion as your spawn point. Once you spawn in there, head directly to your mansion office and sit down in front of the computer where you'll be able to buy supplies for your bunker, your Coca-Cola lockup, your math lab, you name it. You can manage literally every business from here. Once your supplies have been requested, go to any wall-mounted terminal in your mansion, select the production speed boost option, and activate it for a specific business. This is a 200% production speed increase that lasts 1 real-life day, and you can't use it for the same business twice in a row. I usually alternate between the acid lab and the bunker, as those are the most profitable semi-passive businesses in terms of money per hour, but you can pick whichever passive business you like. What I love about the mansion speed boost is that even the math lab, which is the slowest MC business and normally takes 6 hours to fill up all the way, can now be filled up in just 2 hours with a production speed boost. And if you do a single resupply, it only takes 56 minutes to go through. Even the mighty bunker goes from a whopping 11 hours and 40 minutes for a full bar of stock worth $1 million down to just 3 hours and 50 minutes. And if you have an acid lab, you can fill it all the way up in 1 hour and 20 minutes. I think what you can do for the slower businesses is set up some sort of AFK trick like the taxi block with the Sparrow. You can also lean on your mansion railings outside of the office or sit on the credits screen after pausing the credits scrolling. Then simply what you need to do is set a timer on your phone, come back every 1 to 2 hours, and do a quick sell mission for some easy cash. It really is that simple. And when I say quick sell mission, I mean really quick, because the mansion fast travel will transport you directly into the MC business of your choice, whether it's the cash factory, the grass farm, or the math lab. You don't have to actually drive there. You just press a button in front of your terminal and bam, you're right there next to the business computer, ready to drive some garbage trucks or fly some dodos. What's cool is that this mansion fast travel even works with service vehicles, so you can teleport directly into your acid lab and start up a sell mission or activate the acid lab's production speed boost if you want to stack that on top of the mansion speed boost that you already have. While you're doing all of this, you can also resupply all 5 of your CEO special cargo warehouses by teleporting into each one from your mansion if you want, and paying your warehouse staff $7,500 to source some crates for you. Even if you pay your staff every single time instead of manually sourcing crates yourself, your full 111 crate large warehouse still sells for $2.2 million, which means you're making roughly $1.6 million in pure profit per warehouse. Remember, you can have up to 5 large warehouses at a time, so that's over $8 million of profit in just 1 single day, which is insane to even think about. And all you've really been doing during this time is occasionally hitting that mansion fast travel button, mere seconds of work in exchange for several hours worth of money, which usually takes normal players weeks to farm with heists like Cayo or Dr. Dre, and you just made all that money while sitting on your butt AFK, tabbed out of GTA Online, doing whatever you want while the game generates cash for you. And that's not all, because you can stack multiple passive income sources on top of each other as well. As an example, let me show you how it works with the Nightclub. So as you already know, if you max out your popularity meter to 5 bars, your wall safe will accumulate $50,000 in cash every in-game day. And keeping that popularity meter maxed out is super easy. Just pop back into your Nightclub every 1 to 2 hours and do a quick VIP escort mission or bouncer job to gain a bar of popularity. Or if you don't want to even do that little bit of work, just go into the warehouse level of the basement in your Nightclub and use that PC to swap out the DJs. As long as you have a second DJ unlocked, you can swap out the 2 by spending $10K each time, and this will give you back 10% of your total popularity meter. The best part about doing it from the basement PC as opposed to the main office one is you won't have to watch the lengthy DJ cutscene that plays if you do it from your main office PC. Alternatively, you can do this from your arcade or terabyte master control terminal, but also your mansion MCT, because you're gonna spawn there anyway, so might as well use it to keep your Nightclub popularity maxed out. Then for an additional $50,000 per hour, what you must do is assign 5 technicians to the correct businesses in your nightclub's warehouse section. Those businesses are your hangar or your CEO special cargo warehouse, your bunker, your math lab, your cash factory, and your Coca-Cola lockup. In the nightclub warehouse, these businesses are called cargo and shipments, sporting goods, pharmaceutical research, cash creation, and South American imports. These are the 5 best businesses to link with your nightclub, and because your MC goods in the warehouse will fill up in 20 real-life hours, that's exactly when you do a nightclub sell mission for over $1 million worth of profit. Next, since we're stacking multiple passive income sources on top of each other, let's talk about how you can synchronize the timings for your acid lab and bunker so they both sell at the same time. As you already know, the acid lab takes 1 hour and 20 minutes to fill up with a mansion speed boost, and at the bunker, if you resupply exactly once for $75,000, it will take 2 hours and 20 minutes to process those supplies, and you'll end up with exactly $210,000 worth of product, which will always be delivered via a single vehicle. If you do the math, that's 2 boosted acid lab deliveries for every bunker sell mission, since the supplies themselves take 10 minutes to arrive once ordered. And what this means is that you can stack the timings for both businesses on top of each other if you supply them at the same time. So you do 2 full acid lab sell missions, collect your $700,000, then by that time, you'll also have a bunker that's ready to sell. And you can grab a further $210,000 for a total of $910,000, or basically 1 Cinsamito tequila's worth of cash. With Cayo, you only need about 50 minutes for this kind of cash, whereas with the bunker plus the boosted acid lab, you need about 2.5 hours. On the surface, it doesn't seem very impressive until you realize that Cayo for solo players has a cooldown of 2 hours and 24 minutes, so the practical time span for one Cayo run is more realistically 3.5 hours in total, which is 1 hour more than our passive strategy that I just discussed. Sure, you can layer other active content in there like the Dr. Dre contract, Cluck and Bell, No Way Out missions, and make close to $3 million, but that's 3.5 hours of focused, high-intensity gameplay. I'm of course a big fan of that playstyle myself, but it's still interesting to see just how much money you can actually make by barely doing anything at all outside of resupplying and selling passive businesses every few hours. And don't forget that while all this is happening, your MC businesses are still churning out product in the background, so once you include those into the equation here, you're making upwards of $1.6 to $2 million every 3 hours, including the time needed for all of your MC sale missions, which for purely a passive grind up until the sale itself is very impressive in my opinion. Alright then, with all the actual semi-passive businesses dealt with, let's now talk about a form of income that requires even less activity from your end. No resupplies, no sell missions, you literally just walk in, grab your cash, and walk out. I'm of course talking about the office safes that you find in businesses like your arcade, the agency, and the bail office, and more. And I'm sure you'll be surprised to learn just how much money these safes can make you in just one day, because most people don't think of these safes as proper money makers long term. First, let's start with the salvage yard safe, because I think this one's the most misunderstood, and it's actually going to be your main source of income in the salvage yard, believe it or not. Combined with the tow truck jobs, your salvage yard safe can make you over $100,000 per in-game day, which is more than what you make from doing 3 car robberies each week. And here's how it works. Just like the nightclub, your salvage yard has a popularity meter, only this one's hidden, and instead of 5 bars, it goes from 0 to 100 in increments of 1 point each. Every car you bring in via a tow truck job gives you 25 points. So 4 tow jobs in total, and you're at max quote-unquote popularity for your salvage yard. But it also decays over time. So if you don't keep up the minimum amount of work needed to maintain your popularity, it will start to drop, and the less popularity you have, the less cash you accumulate in the salvage yard wall safe. By the way, you don't need to make more money per hour if you buy the safe upgrade for your salvage yard. All that does is increase your maximum safe capacity from $100,000 to $250,000. So basically, you just have to visit less frequently to withdraw your cash, and that's it. At max popularity, you still make $24,000 with your basic safe, which is the most you can make per in-game day. Once you hit that $24,000 limit, you get 96 real-life minutes before your popularity drops a tier, which means all you have to do to maintain that level of passive income is precisely 1 tow truck job every 96 minutes. And don't forget that the cars themselves are worth anywhere from $30,000 to $40,000 each when you salvage them, and you can salvage 2 of them at the same time. So in reality, you're making approximately $100,000 per hour with the salvage yard staff upgrade. That's enough to fill up an upgraded wall safe in exactly 2.5 hours. Next, we've got the car wash safe, and this one functions a bit differently from other passive income sources in the game. Instead of relying on car wash jobs, it instead acts as a money laundering front for all of your other businesses that you own, and how much money it accumulates depends on how many businesses you own at the moment. If you own all 23 businesses, you'll get approximately $30,000 every single in-game day, which means it'll take approximately 160 minutes to fill out your car wash safe. But that's only if you own every business, which means you need an agency, you need a CEO special cargo warehouse, a hangar, a bunker, all MC businesses, the Higgins Helitours business, the Smoke on the Water smoke workshop, an arena workshop, etc. Next, we've got the agency safe, and to fill this up to its max daily income of $20,000 per day, you only need one business, the agency. However, to get there, you'll have to do a total of 201 security contracts. Once you do all the 201 security contracts, your agency office safe is locked to $20,000 per in-game day, and it will never drop back down, even if you stop doing agency work altogether. The maximum capacity of this wall safe is $250,000, so you'll fill it up in just over 12 in-game days, or approximately 12 hours of real-life time. Then there's the arcade safe, and this one's not as lucrative as the others in terms of money making per day, but it's the most hands-off of them all because you just fill up your arcade floor with arcade machines and watch that cash roll in forever. And here's a nice little trick that Rockstar doesn't want you to know. You don't have to use different arcade machines. Just buy the cheapest one for 90 grand, which is called Monkey's Paradise, and place copies of those all over your arcade if you want. Just fill up every single slot and you'll accumulate $5,000 every in-game day inside of your arcade safe, which then maxes out at $100,000 in total. So it takes 20 in-game days to fill up, which is approximately 16 hours real life. Then we've got the bail office safe, and this one's a bit pricey to set up as you'll need $1.5 million for both bail agents, but once you buy them, all you do is spawn into your bail office at the start of every session and send them out for some bounty hunting. Then 48 minutes later, they'll drop anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 in your office safe. Since the bail office safe can hold a maximum of 100K, it'll take about 6 hours for it to fill up if you just use your bail office agents, going back every 48 minutes and sending them out on work. Lastly, we've got the garment factory safe, which maxes out at $100,000, and this is possibly the most hands-off safe in the entire game along with the arcade. You literally just buy your garment factory and watch cash pile in from your legit garment business. However, the garment factory safe is also the slowest safe in the entire game, as it only accumulates $2,000 every in-game day, and that's if you're having a good day. Sometimes it'll be as low as $1,500 to $1,600 a day, so it's going to take 50 to 60 real-life hours of gameplay to fill up this safe. But once it does fill up, how much money can you withdraw by combining all of these safes together? We're getting $250,000 from the Nightclub, another $250,000 from the salvage yard, $250,000 from the agency, 100K from the bail office safe, 100K from the arcade, and lastly, a very slow 100K from the garment factory safe. Combining all of these together, we're making $1,050,000. Now that's true passive income, as you don't have to lift a finger to make that money. Well, I guess apart from swapping a few DJs for your nightclub and doing a few tow truck jobs every other hour. Anyways, guys, that's all I have for this passive income guide for GTA Online 2026. Personally, I don't think this is the meta way to play the game, as everyone has different preferences, and I couldn't imagine enjoying GTA Online just with passive income, but I felt it was an interesting thought experiment nevertheless, and when I tried it out, I was surprised with how much money I was able to make with that new mansion buff. Plus, a lot of the stuff you're probably already doing anyway, and you ought to be introducing into your daily gameplay grind for money making, and so this cash will stack up over hours and hours of playtime. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to drop a like on it if you found it informative. Consider subscribing to the channel if you are new and you want to see more content just like this. Check me out over on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram, specifically twitch.tv/hazardoushdtv. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next GTA Online video. Adios, amigos.